Today we will start the concept of Python. But whenever we are starting any programming language, it is very important to understand how to deal with the data types. So today we are going to discuss about array and list in Python. But see how to start this topic. Let me show you one code. See, if I tell you that this is the code of a list and this is the code of an array. Now see, we have some kind of interpretation, syntactical interpretation, which are not very easy to understand. So we have to understand each and everything about this. So for that purpose, I have created some small piece of codes in this section so that I could explain each and every term which are associated with list and array data structure. So let's start. Now say I'm working on this Jupyter notebook. So see here. Here I have Jupyter notebook for Anaconda and I have Jupyter notebook for TensorFlow and I have another Jupyter notebook which is used for another purpose. So here the point is whenever I'm talking about Jupyter notebook, actually I'm working on this. This Jupyter notebook is used when we are going to do some coding with artificial neural network. So today I'm using this Jupyter notebook. So in the Jupyter notebook, what you have to do after opening the Jupyter notebook, you have to come here, new, and then you have to click on Python 3. Then a new section will be opened up and here you have to type the code. Now while typing the code, you have to remember one thing. You have to provide some name of this notebook so you can rename it. How you can rename? Just you can click over here and you can get a section where you can write the name of the file according to your choice. And after that, see here you can type the code and you can add any section or you can remove any section. So these two tools are very much important. You can use them and you can save the program code, whatever you have written over here by using save button. This is just an overview about the Jupyter notebook. So I have used this kind of section here and I have created the codes. Now today, what is our objective? Today we will learn this topic. Means what is this array and what is this list data structure and what are the basic differences among these two data structures and what kind of operations we can perform. So before starting this section, I'm just telling you one point that is, see, whenever we are talking about array, this array means this kind of section. So we can see that within an array, we can keep some values which are homogeneous in nature. Means if I am storing integer value in the array, each and every data should be integer. If I am storing floating point data, each and every data will be floating point in nature. So we can keep some homogeneous data in this array with some order. Ordering means each and every array will have their name and also it have its own index. So this index is the 0th index. This index is the first index. This index is the second index. This index is the third index, like this. So you have to remember one point. Unlike R, this index starts from 0. In R, the array index starts from 1. So this is the main difference between working with Python and R. So here first we will learn how to create an array in the Python. So I will discuss this codes later, but first we will discuss creating a particular array. Now how to create array, it is important. See, for creating array, first what you have to do? First you have to write import array as ARR. See, this import is the keyword that will help us to use this array data structure in the Python. As is known as alias means instead of writing array repeatedly in our code, I am just providing a short name ARR. So instead of writing array, wherever we want to create array, we are going to use this shortcut name that is ARR. So this shortcut name is created by this as alias, right? So this is known as array module in Python. So to create an array of say numeric values, we need to import the array module. This thing you have to keep in mind. So after importing the array module, then you just take any variable and then now we will use this name. So we will write ARR dot now the whole name array and then we have to write something like this. So now we have to decode this section. So creating array is not so easy. So we can only understand one thing that over here we are importing one array module and we are using some alias and here we are just creating the array. But see, this kind of terms are very difficult to understand. So now we have to decode these terms one by one. So up to this, we are done with importing array module and creating array. Now we have to decode this syntax. See, whenever we are creating any array, we are here just writing ARR dot array and then we are performing something over here. So first let's talk about this D. What is this D? See, here we create an array of type float. See, whatever value I'm using here, they are of type floating point. So this letter D is a type code. So for creating an array in Python, first you have to mention the type code. So this D is known as type code. What it determines? It determines that the type of the array during its creation. So now definitely there will be one question. What are the different kinds of type codes we have? See, if you are going to use some kind of integer, means if your array elements are of type integer, then instead of D you have to use I. And then you have to take some integer value, something like this. Now we have other type codes also. Means if I use B as type code, it means we are going to use signed character. So D and I are the most important type code that we have to use frequently. Otherwise we have B and we have also capital B as a type code, means in that case it signifies unsigned character. And also for signed integer, we can use I. For unsigned integer, we can use capital I as type code. For float, we can use F. Also, we can use D. Basically, D stands for double data type. So double and float both are same, means both will take this kind of value, but the size of the double data type is greater than the float data type. So whenever you are taking floating point data or double data, you can use D. Otherwise for floating point data, you can use F as a type code. So this is the concept of type code. So these are the thing you have to remember. So importing the array and then you can create the array using the type code. For creating the array, you have to take one variable and then you have to write this name arr.array, then the module name, then the type code, and then you can define the array according to your choice. So this is how you can create array in Python. But after creating array, what we want to do, the first thing that comes in our mind that we have to access the array. Now see how to access an array in Python. So I have created a small piece of code over here. Here I want to access the array elements. So for that purpose, definitely I have to create one array. And before creating any array, we have to import the array module. So here I'm importing the array module, and see, here I'm creating the array. And here I have used the type code as I, means the elements of the array will be of type integer. And then see, I am accessing the elements of an array. So I've already discussed, whenever I am talking about an array, every portion will be determined by its index, where A is the name of the array and 0 is the index value. Here A of 0 means this position, A of 1 means this position. So if I want to access any array element, so I have to write 2 means, if I'm going to access 2 means I'm going to access this position, A of 0. If I'm going to access 5 means I'm going to access this position. So I have created the same thing over here. See, here I have created this thing. So A of 0, A of 1. But see what I have written over here. Here I have written A of -1. So -1 index is not there. So here you have to remember one point. In Python, whenever you are writing index value as -1 means you are accessing the last element of the array. So here the last element is this one. So you can ask me one question. We can write A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3. A of 3 signifies the last element in this case. But see, if your array is large and if you want to just access the last element of the array, so the shortcut is write the array name and then write the index value as -1. So it will be easier for you to access the last element of an array for the large array size, right? So this is how you can access array elements, right? But here what you have to note, here you have to remember only one point, that the array index in Python starts from 0, not from 1. This thing you have to keep in mind. Now, there is one important point. So creating an array is okay. Accessing array element is also okay. But there is one important function, or there exists an important activity in Python which is known as slicing. So whenever we are dealing with an array in Python, we can slice it. So what do you mean by slicing activity? See, we can access a range of items in an array by using the slicing operator, and slicing operator is known as colon operator. This one, this colon operator. So whenever I am using colon while dealing with array, so you have to remember one point. So basically we are going to do some slicing activity, and this colon is an operator. Right? So what we can do, see, I have clearly mentioned that we have to import the array module, and then here what I am doing, here I am just creating one array that is holding all integer values. And see, this array creation is little bit different. Here how I am creating the array, since I am defining a small array, so I have written the type code and then the array elements, list of array elements. But you can use this alternative options also, that one variable you just take and put all the values of an array within square brackets, and then you just take another variable where you just write arr.array and then mention the type code, and then here put this variable. So instead of writing the array straight away, you can pass over here one variable, and this variable is basically holding the array. So this kind of creation is also possible. So any one of them you can choose. But here, see, I'm just doing slicing. So here what I have written, see, this is the variable which is holding currently the created array. So I'm just using the name of this variable, and here I have written 2 is to 5. 2 is to 5 means I am going to access the values from index 3rd to 5th. Why 2 is to 5 means index 3rd to 5th? Because the index starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2 means third index. So for 2 is to 5 means we are accessing the elements from third index to fifth index. And now see, this is a simple one. Now see what happens if I omit the left hand side, means LHS portion of the colon operator. So I haven't write anything over here, but in the right hand side I have written -5. So in that case it signifies beginning to the fourth element. So whenever you are not writing anything to the LHS of the colon, it automatically considers the beginning, means from the 0th index, and -5 means from 0th to 4th it will consider. And similarly, we can omit the right hand side number for the colon operator. So if I write over here 5 colon and then blank, then it will consider from 6th to the end. Means end is not mentioned. So from 6th element it will consider to the end. And similarly, we can omit both the section LHS part and RHS part of the colon. So it means I want to see beginning to end. So this is the concept we have to remember. So this is the array 2, 5, 62, 5, 42, 52, 48 and 5. And whenever I'm using 2 is to 5, third to fifth, third to fifth, this portion, see, this is the output. So now whenever I'm writing colon -5, it is beginning to fourth, beginning to fourth. See over here. So beginning to fourth means, why this one? Why not 2 5 62 5? Here beginning to fourth means 2 5 62. Why it is showing this? There is one twist. See, here it is showing that something which is missing, colon and then -5. So according to this discussion, it is beginning to fourth element, right? So it is showing that 2 5 62. So up to this. But beginning to fourth means we have to consider this. So why this 5 is omitted in this case? The concept is, whenever you are using this -5 and see it is showing one less index, right? -5, so it should show up to 5. So in slicing, the first concept is whatever index is shown over here, it will display one less. But over here, why this kind of situation arises? So the only reason is as indices starts from 0, right? So that's why it is showing another one index less, right? So this is the concept you have to remember. So now again, sixth to end. Sixth means which one? This one, sixth to end. So 5 is to blank means 6 to end. So it is written as 52, 48 and 5. And the last one is beginning to end. So it is showing the entire array. So you have to keep in mind only for the minus index. If it is written -5, it will show one less index, that is up to fourth index. But while displaying, it will show another one less value as it is starting from 0. So slicing concept become more difficult when you discuss about the negative indices, and I will cover one section on this. So this is the basic concept of slicing. You can use and you can practice and you can check what kind of output it is giving, right? Now, there is one more part. So, whenever we are creating an array, we are accessing the elements, we are displaying the elements using slicing concepts, but we should have a provision for changing and adding elements. Now I will tell you one important point. So you have to remember one property over here. See, in Python, you have to remember one point. Array in Python is mutable. Mutable means their elements can be changed, right? So we can perform this changing operation on an array. So you have to remember one point. If I'm using some data structure and that data structure is immutable in nature, means I cannot perform any kind of element changing operation on that data type. So array in Python is mutable, therefore I can perform this kind of operation. So here what I am doing, after creating the array, here we are changing the first element. See, first element means what? I have already discussed. First element means name of the array and index 0. A of 0 signifies the first element. So if I am writing 2 means I am assigning 2 to the A of 0 position, right? Now see here, I'm using this variable numbers, and at its 0th position I'm just writing 0 forcefully, assigning 0 forcefully. So here we have 1, but now I am assigning forcefully 0. So this is how we can allow changing an element in a particular index in an array. So here I am forcefully changing the first value in the array from 1 to 0, right? And if you print, you will get 0 instead of 1 as a first array element. Similarly, you can change the third and fifth element. But see, if you want to write number of 3 and is equal to some element and then numbers within bracket 5 and then you can assign some element, it is also okay. But whenever you are changing the array element in between somewhere in the array, so it is better to use the concept of slicing. So this syntax is done. Using this syntax, you can change any array index. But for say third and fifth position, so these are the intermediate position in an array. So in that case, what I will do, third to fifth position. So this range I want to change. Third to fifth means, so in that case, I am forcefully want to assign the value 4, 6 and 8, right? So here see, as an output I am getting 4, 6 and 8 in between third to fifth position. So for that purpose, you have to mention the index. Third to fifth element means 2 to 5. Why 2? Because third element means since it is starting from 0, so you have to write 2 to 5. So that's why it is taking this value. So this is another way how you can change the values within a range of indices. So in this case, slicing is important, right? So if you execute this code, the first element of the array will be changed to 0 and it will remain as it is, and then we are modifying third to fifth element to 4, 6 and 8. So it is modified to 4, 6 and 8 instead of 3, 5 and 7, right? So this is how you can change the array element. Now there is one very interesting method over here. Means in Python we can use some methods. So we can add one item to the array using append method. So we can easily use one method which is known as append method. And whenever I'm talking about method in Python, you have to remember the syntax will be like this. Append, and then this is the symbol of a method. Now we are going to use two methods, append and extend. So this append method, why we are using this? If we want to add one element in the array, so in that case, we will use append. However, whenever we want to add several elements or several items, then we will use extend method. Now see how it works. See, this is the array 1, 2, 3. So this is the type code I. So that's why I'm taking integer values. And now here I'm writing this variable name dot the method name. Now you can ask me one question, why it is variable name dot method name? See, for any kind of object oriented programming, how to invoke a method. So you have to write object name dot method name. This is the rule. So in this case, this numbers is an object which is holding the array, and by writing numbers dot method name, I'm just invoking the array. And see here 4 is the parameter or argument that I am passing through this method. So it means what? I'm going to add one element and the element value is 4 inside the array. So as an output you will be able to see 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 will be added at the end of the array, right? So append is used to add one element at the end of the array. So now if I use extends instead of append, so the rule will be same, numbers dot the method name extends, and then you have to write the list of elements that you are going to add in the array. So 5, 6, 7. So it will become 5, 6, 7. So both append and extend add the array elements at the end of the array. So this thing you have to keep in mind. So these two methods are very useful in case of Python. Now there is one operator which is known as plus operator. So you can use plus operator in case of Python while dealing with array. So plus operator means concatenation operation. So whenever you want to concatenate two arrays, then you can use plus operator. Say I have created one array over here and I have created another array over here, and both are having same type code, that is integer. And here I'm just writing odd plus even. So I'm using this concatenating operator on these two variables. This variable which is holding the first array and this variable which is holding the second array. And see what is the output over here. Both the arrays are concatenated. Now there is one question. What happens if I am using floating point type code? Means if I write D over here and if I write 2.1, 4.1 and 6.1. So here my question is, can we use this concatenation operation? See if I am having another array where I'm just writing and see the type code is D, and here I'm just taking value 2.1, 4.1 and 6.1. So my question is, can I add this t over here? Means this kind of syntax is okay. Say even plus t. So you have to remember one point. After concatenation, everything will be coming to the single array. An array can contain only the homogeneous data. So we cannot add floating point or double data type in this case. So both the type code must be same while performing concatenation. So this thing you have to keep in mind. Now we will learn the next part, that is how to remove array elements. So we can delete one or more array items, and in that case we can use remove method. And there is another method which is known as pop method. So both the methods, they are used to remove an item at the given index. So this thing you have to keep in mind. They will remove an item, means they are going to remove a single item from the given index. So after creating the array, what I'm doing, I'm just using this remove method, right? So if I'm writing remove 12, so what will be the output? So this is the array element, and see the output will be this one. See, we have two 12s. So which element it is deleting? So this is a question. So I will tell you. And then we can use pop also, right? So pop 2. Pop 2 means they will remove item from the index 2. Here 2 means the index value. So here 2 means what? Which element I am going to delete? So 0, 1, 2. So this is the second index. So in this case it will remove the 12. So here you have to remember one point. There is one significant difference, that remove 12 means after the remove method you are just writing the value that you are going to remove. And here, in order to remove one duplicate value, I'm just using the value straight away. But in case of pop method, you are just mentioning the index. Index number 2 means 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. So it will remove this 12. So that's why 12 is missing over here. So this thing you have to keep in mind. Though remove and pop both removes array elements. One uses the array value and another one uses the index value. So this thing you have to keep in mind, right? So now there is one significant question, that is what is the difference between list and array data structure.